Well, amid fears of a broader trade war, President Donald Trump delayed some tariffs on Mexico and Canada this week. We're talking about items only covered under a 2020 trade agreement between the countries. So let's go to our neighbors in Mexico and Azteca Noticias anchor Lucy Bravo. Welcome, Lucy. Nice to have you on the stream. Talk to us about what you are seeing there as this pause has now happened in tariffs.
Yes, thank you, Reed. Thank you for having me. And as you mentioned, the tariffs on Mexico and Canada have been delayed for yet another month, buying some time for further negotiations while keeping the pressure on the Mexican government to address U.S. concerns on fentanyl and immigration. The markets received the news rather well. Actually, the peso gained some ground against the dollar yesterday, registering its strongest level since the year began. But uncertainty remains as to whether the Mexican government will continue to take decisive action and prevent the auto manufacturing or agricultural industries from taking a major hit. Bear in mind that this exemption applies to about 90% of Mexican exports to the U.S. as part of the USMCA agreement. But we are still facing the tariffs on steel and aluminum that are set to go into effect next week. Nonetheless, President Sheinbaum is moving ahead with a massive event planned to take place this coming Sunday at our country's Zócalo, which is our main square located in our downtown area, just a few steps from the presidential palace, where the executive branch seats as a show of political force. But behind closed doors, we expect that the Mexican government will continue to double down on its security measures and border enforcement to show Trump that it's taking decisive action. As a matter of fact, President Sheinbaum highlighted this 41.5% drop on fentanyl trafficking during the last month as part of its broader actions that it's taking as well. And as part of what Trump requested. But it is still uncertain whether that would be enough to, actually reach the agreements that Trump has put on the table. And we know that the next coming weeks will be crucial to determine whether this exemption will be a temporary pause or it can actually lead to a resolution and avoid a full economic clash between our two countries.
Well, and we know it is a temporary pause because we're looking at an early April warning from the president that if they can't get anywhere between the two presidents, that this tariff could go back in place in full force. At the top of our discussion, we were showing you some of those agricultural products here in the United States, avocados among them. Our partners at CBS Bay Area saw that the prices for guacamole went from $13 a bowl to almost $17 a bowl because those restaurateurs were anticipating a spike in those agricultural prices. So really, it punctuates the importance of this call between the two presidents. What do you know about how well they're communicating and whether they can actually find common ground to get a deal done?
Well, from what we've seen and from what the president has let the people know, they have a very good relation. They have very good rapport. And she was able to highlight some of the results that the Mexican government has presented just in the past month. And she did mention the fact that if he were to impose the tariffs, then what would be the incentives for the Mexican government to continue to cooperate on these matters? Nonetheless, she insisted on the fact that our teams are working closely with our U.S. allies to reach a permanent resolution, a permanent deal. But the fact of the matter is that the deadlines of each month that have been delayed have provided results, and the question remains whether this will be a permanent situation for the next couple of years or we will be able to reach a permanent solution. Nonetheless, the price hikes that you mentioned are also affecting our side of the border, and some of the manufacturers as well as the farmers are still grappling with solutions, are waiting to know what the government of Mexico will do in order to alleviate some of these measures. The president has kept her cards very close to the chest, and she hasn't revealed any type of reciprocal tariffs, which were expected to be announced this coming Sunday. But she said that in view of this delay, there is no need to even talk about those reciprocal tariffs anymore.
Well, those farmers on your side of the border are also voters, and no doubt President Sheinbaum is feeling some of that political pressure as well. Lucy Bravo, nice to talk to you there. Thank you for that perspective.